they are spending a ton of money on a contingency plan for this. And like I said, my source that is incredibly high up said that the country and the world would be almost... So we've gotten tons of crazy intel months at a time before mainstream has even covered it. Several stories. If you've been following this channel, we broke out some huge stuff before CNN and all those, real news outlets. As far as the NASA prepares for asteroid Armageddon, I talked about this since I believe January of 2018. I have been saying that, so obviously I do have the fortunate side of having somebody who's actually at FEMA, and I knew, and I told people all last year, I said, look at how they are showing you every single day, if not every other day, an asteroid article saying, an asteroid the size of a house is coming by tomorrow. Tomorrow, the asteroid the size of the Space Needle, the size of the Big Ben. They have to constantly find something. It's the size of, it's the size of a bread box. Nobody would give a crap, but they always have to be like, oh, it's the size of a 3-story house with a yard, So it's desensitizing us to asteroids. And whether you believe asteroids are from space, there is a good chunk of people that don't believe there is space and don't believe that asteroids are real and they're probably man-made. That's fine. However, they or whoever made them, whether it be God, the universe, or, the United States government, something is very possibly going to hit somewhere on this world. And I have told you since last year, they knew and they know where everything would hit down to the T. I mean, you're talking they know down to, within a 2-mile radius of where these things can hit. And, we're supposed to believe, since they've been tracking every little tiny thing that even comes close to us. So again, we know exactly how many feet or a window, however many of these are passing by us. And if you watch the news, you can see that there's one passing by every day, the size of a house, the size of Big Ben, the size of the Empire State Building. I mean, we've literally seen all of these things, right? It's every single day. So just do some simple math here. If something the size of Big Ben is passing by almost every single day, there is, in time, something that they have tracked that is going to hit us, right? So what if they discovered something that is going to hit us, like Apophis in 2029 or in 2036? Or what if they've tracked something where they 100% know it's going to hit us? Well, maybe they did. Why are they are spending a ton of money on a contingency plan for this. And like I said, my source that is incredibly high up said that the country and the world would be almost unrecognizable in as little as 3 years. Now, he didn't say exactly 3 years. He said in as little as 3 years, it would be unrecognizable. I said, is this the end? What are we talking about? He said, no, but this is something so serious, and this is exact words, that all of the countries are working on it. And if you've been looking and watching this show since last year's, we've covered all of the different countries are actually preparing some sort of asteroid mitigation plan. Our team here has HAMMER. It's Hypervelocity Asteroid Meteor and Mitigation Asteroid Response Team or something. It stands for basically that. And it is a ship that we have built, or we're building, that is a nuclear-tipped thing, and basically it would smack into the side of an asteroid and try to veer it off course. There's Russia is coming up with almost the same exact idea, and they are working with us on that project. And then China is coming up with some sort of satellite that's also attached to a laser that can basically boost sideways to try to get an asteroid to go sideways. They haven't even talked about that yet, but that's something that we know about, the land-based lasers that they're talking about shooting space debris out of the sky. That's all public knowledge. But what they are hiding, and what we have actually covered here as well, is that they have these new EMP and directed energy weapons that they have basically been developing as well. And our mainstream has covered that as well. So going by even mainstream and what our sources say, which, by the way, many of you guys know, we have, I believe, over 200 military. We have, that's just in our Discord. We have close to over 6,000 people in our Discord. We have people funneling stuff to us. I mean, this is absolutely wild to think about, but they are, you know, they always say follow the money. The money is going into asteroid and earthquakes. That's really what they are preparing for. If you wanted to go on paper and say, what are the two big things? Those would be the two big things. So when people ask me, like, what do you think is going to happen first? I say, I really think that we are close to a Cascadia subduction earthquake. But as far as this, all I'm saying is that I've been saying it since last year that, but specifically NASA and FEMA, we're coming up with these. If you've watched my channel for a long time, you know, now, April 25th, 2019, they're basically coming out and saying it, that NASA and FEMA are absolutely 100% spending a ton of money on contingency planning for an asteroid hitting Earth. Now, this could be for 2040 or 2069 or the year 2150. Doesn't matter. They're still working on it. So that's why I'm pointing it out. And I'm not pointing this out to say this is going to happen tomorrow. But if you follow the money, all of the other countries are doing the same as well. And if judging off of what my source could tell me, they're basically saying, yeah, and if you pull into all these little other things that have been said over the years, like all the kind of creepy things that you think about, like the Area 51 caller from Coast to Coast, where he's like, they know something's going to happen. They could be moving people to safe places and all of this and blah, 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 but they're not. What if they did know? Just hypothetically speaking, what if they did know something was going to hit an exact area, and for money reasons, keeping things, everything normal, just keeping things rolling, keeping jobs going, keeping businesses growing in a certain area? What if they didn't tell you until last minute? Would that not be messed up? Probably. But to think that if you do believe that they are tracking things with satellites and they have astronomers all over the world in different laboratories all over the world, see, that's why I don't believe that, you know, that they're not doing this. They have these people tracking these things that could possibly hit or hit. And we had the Sunspot Observatory basically shut down. They went in, they cleaned out all the computers. Last year, it was a big deal. They came up with this story about that basically that somebody at that Sunspot Observatory was basically hiding, children material that was inappropriate. And they cleaned it out. They shut it down. Military helicopters. I'm sorry, but I've never seen them use Black Hawks for, the pervert with, some stuff on his hard drive. Yet they shut that down. And at the same time, as many as 6 were reported to have a temporary shutdown or something happened to those observatories or laboratories or universities all at the same time. Some people argued about the number that actually shut down, but it was Sunspot and several others that had or did have some sort of momentary shutdown or had FBI / 3-letter agencies checking them out. So just looking at what we are not told, there's a lot of weird stuff surrounding this. And what if they found out that it was kind of sooner than later? What if they knew where it was going to hit? That's what I would love to talk about tonight. But I'm going to read you this. NASA prepares for asteroid Armageddon with simulation exercises. It says NASA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, and their international partners are conducting planetary defense exercises for a potential asteroid impact. For over 2 decades, NASA's Planetary Defense Coordination Office, the PDCO, European Space Agency's Situational Awareness, the NEO segment, and the International Asteroid Warning Network, ION, have been identifying NEOs, near-Earth objects, asteroids, and comets that orbit the Sun and Earth as their highest priority. It says, in line with the mitigation of a possible NEO's collision, NASA's PDCO Other U.S. agencies and space science institutions, along with international partners, will participate in the 2019 Planetary Defense Conference to be held next week from April 29th to May 3rd. The biannual conference brings together world experts to discuss the dangers posed by NEOs and actions that might be taken to deflect a threatening object. Now, there's many different things that are actually in production in different countries. So I'll just show you real quick. Asteroid. Bam. So Hammer is this spacecraft. It's hypervelocity asteroid mitigation mission for emergency response, otherwise known as the Hammer, is a concept study by NASA on a spacecraft 8 tons capable of detonating a nuclear bomb to deflect an asteroid if it was on collision course with Earth. So some say that this is already built, and there are several built. That's what the rumor is around the mill. It says and honestly, I think that this is kind of funny. Everything in March of last year. So when was the sunspot event? Actually, that would be something good. If somebody could look that up and put it into chat, what month did the sunspot observatory event happen? Because what I think is kind of funny is everybody, March 15th, March 7th, March 6th, March 9th, all these people came out with different stuff. That's basically when the Hammer spacecraft idea basically went completely public and everything. So in March of 2018 is when it kind of came to fruition, or at least went public. It says NASA is working on a modeling study that considers the asteroid 101955 Bennu, which has a diameter of 246 meters and capable of a 1.15 gigaton impact, as a modeling target for Hammer concept. It is circling the sun at 63,000 miles per hour at 54 million miles. The two realistic responses considered in this study are the use of the spacecraft functioning as either a kinetic impactor, which basically smacks into it and puts it off course, or a nuclear explosion carrier to deflect the approaching asteroid, or blow it up into a million little pieces that smashes into all of us. So here's the thing. Either way, everybody's seen in the news, Japan went to Bennu, we went to Bennu, all of these different countries are trying to go to the asteroids. Isn't it kind of funny that they are using Bennu as an example? Maybe they're using Bennu trying to figure out how to move it. Oh, and isn't it kind of funny? Just recently, didn't we kind of blow a huge hole in an asteroid, or Japan did? Which one was that? We actually did set off an explosion on the side of it. But did they say they purposely blew an explosion into it? Or did they say it was an accident? This is kind of funny. So maybe they are using Bennu as kind of a guinea pig to try to figure out how they can move an asteroid of that size, which very well may be the same size as something that they have recently found that is going to hit us somewhere. And maybe they are trying to figure out how to stop it or move it. It's a real thing that if you believe we're floating in space and you believe in modern day science, then this is something that very well could end the Earth and could have ended it before. So it's just kind of funny. It's either way, you can go whichever way you want on this, but I think that it makes a lot more sense. It's like all this stuff is hidden. What if they were hiding something like that? And judging on all of the things that we've been doing with asteroids lately, including other countries, maybe we're not trying to mine them. Maybe that's kind of the cover. We're not mining we're not trying to mine those specific ones. Maybe they are actually trying to do experiments to knock it off of course. I don't know. It's way too many coincidences that, things that are tied in from last year, and then all of a sudden it's like every single day we're seeing something about it.
You want to know what's going on? What's really going on when it happens? Go to marfooglenews.com and get Marfoogle alerts along with a Discord invitation where you can find your local state group and get together with the Foogle Fam. You'll find fast friends where you'll share prep and intel, and there's even special groups for former and current military. But don't try and steal the valor of those who have really served. It won't go well for you. The Marfoogle Fam is waiting for you.